Hello, my name's Andrea and I play on the Toronto Fusion women's baseball team. I've been playing baseball for probably the past 18 years or so, and I love the game. So today, I'm going to teach you guys how to slide. You know, sometimes you're running into second or third base or even home plate, and you don't want to overrun the base. So sliding is a good option, but we don't want to get hurt. So we're going to teach you how to slide. We're going to teach you indoors, since a lot of us are staying inside. As the healthcare workers and emergency responders and grocery clerks and so forth are out there working, so we can stay at home and stay healthy. So I'm going to go over how I learned to slide when I was a kid. I learned to slide indoors on hardwood floors. Laminate's fine, tile's fine. I don't do it on concrete, that won't work, but any sort of flooring like hardwood, laminate, tile, it can work. But again, before you do any of this, make sure your parents are okay with you trying this, because you can get injured by sliding. So you definitely want someone to make sure the area is safe and okay for you to try. Okay, so to start off, I wouldn't recommend starting in a t-shirt. You definitely want to cover all of your skin. So I'm going to put on a sweater. And again, the sweater is just to cover up my arm skin, because you guys might be new at this. You may not get the technique right, and you may accidentally like scrape your arm on the ground, and then you may get some raspberries, some irritation that might hurt. Okay, so again, you want to wear full pants, you want to wear socks, and you want to wear a sweater. Another thing for safety too is a helmet. So when you play baseball, running bases, we always wear a helmet. An important reason to have this when you're learning to slide is because you might accidentally, as you're trying to slide, slide a little too hard and hit your head on the ground. Once you get used to it, you'll be fine, but just in case, put on a helmet so then you don't get hurt. Okay, so put on some long sleeves, some long pants, some socks, and a helmet if you got one at home. But again, do not do any of this unless your parents say it's a-okay. All right, so let's start. This is the position you pretty much want to end up in when you finish your slide. You want to have one leg straight out, a couple of inches, your heel should be a couple of inches off the ground. And again, that's for safety, because if your foot's right on the ground, you might hit something and then might injure yourself, okay? So your lead foot, your heel, a couple inches off the ground. Your other leg is going to be bent underneath your extended leg. This is just to get tucked in. So you want it kind of underneath your thigh, knee area. You want to be sitting up. You don't want to be leaning back, because when you start leaning back, that's when you might hit your head on the ground. So you want to be sitting up. And you want to be sitting on your butt, because your butt is what's going to be making contact with the ground. As far as your arms, you don't want to put them on the ground, because you may be hurting your hand. If you're barehanded, you may get some cuts. Even if you're wearing gloves though, you might hurt some fingers. I know I've slid hard before where I ended up putting my hands on the ground and I hurt my hand real bad. So keep your hands up. Again, it can help for balance too if you have your hands up. So this is pretty much the position you want to end up in when you finish your slide. One thing I get asked is, well, how do you know which leg to put forward? Do you want your left leg forward or your right leg forward? That's really up to you. I know some people say, well, it depends if you're right-handed or left-handed, or depends what side of the base you're sliding on. But really at this point, if you're just starting out, try both legs and see which one you like more. And then keep working on that one. And then if you want to change it up and try the other leg, sure. Just to get a little bit of comfort with our flooring, to make sure our flooring is good for this, is we're just going to slide around in our socks first. Again, this is just to test out the flooring to see how it is. So I have, I think this is parquet floor, so it's some sort of laminate, which is, I think, good for sliding, but I'm just going to make sure before I start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blade myself. So I know my lead foot is going to be my left foot. That's going to be the leg I'm kicking out later when I'm sliding. So I'm just going to put it a little ahead of my right foot. And I'm going to take a couple paces forward, and then I'm going to slide on my socks while standing up. And again, this is just to test the slipperiness of your floor. So here, take a couple steps, and I slid. And you can see I slid a little. Then go back in, go a little faster. And again, my lead foot is up ahead. This is just to test to see if your floor is good. Now, if you tried that on carpet, you wouldn't slide. If you tried that on concrete, you wouldn't slide. And then you'd know it's not safe to continue to the next step. So as long as you can slide on your socks, then you can slide on your butt. So now that we know our surface is slippery enough in our socks, we know that our butts are gonna slide. So we don't wanna be standing and just drop down on our butts because all that energy up here is going straight into the ground right here. It's gonna hurt. But as long as you're moving and you slide as you hit the ground, you're moving all that energy and power across the floor and it's not gonna hurt, all right? So as long as you do it properly, I know the first time is gonna be tough, it's gonna be hard to do because you're like, oh, I'm starting from here and I gotta run in and slide on my butt, that's gonna hurt. You just gotta do it, all right? You got your long sleeves on, you got your socks, your pants, you got your helmet on for safety. You can do it, all right? So you're gonna take a bit of a jogging, a couple paces. And then the three important things are you're gonna kick out that lead leg, whether it's your left or right leg, whichever one you chose. Kick out that lead leg, tuck in your other leg, and have your arms up. So here I go. There we go. So I kicked out my leg, I have my other leg bent, and my arms are up. So try that a bunch of times at a slow pace and see how it feels. So now that I've done that a bunch of times at, just a couple paces and then sliding and I feel comfortable with that, I'm gonna go faster. So I'm not a fast runner, but I'm gonna be running fast for me. So I'm gonna start way at the end of the hall, I'm gonna run, and then I'm gonna slide. And again, I'm not having any bases or anything I'm aiming for. I'm just gonna see if I can go faster. Leg kicked out, other leg tucked in, arms up. So now that you've slid while running your fastest, you're gonna start putting it more like a game. So let's face home plate, which is to our left. And then when we're ready to go, we may even take a couple lead offs, right? Just a couple. And then you're gonna pivot. So when I say pivot, you're gonna flip your body over to the right towards your baseline that you're running, and then you start running. So you're on the balls of your feet, so your heels should be off the ground a little. And you're ready to go. Pivot, run, 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 and then slide. Now that we got the running and the sliding all down, now we gotta figure out how far back from the base do we need to slide. So as you're practicing here on your flooring, it's gonna be different. The resistance on this floor is gonna be different than dirt, it's gonna be different than grass, but it's still good to practice to gauge how far you need. So don't use a base, because again, you don't want something that's gonna be stuck to the ground to hurt yourself, but just use a glove. Because if you hit the glove and you slide too hard, it'll move. So I'm gonna put the glove right here. So that's what I'm aiming for. Depends who you speak to. Some people say you wanna slide 5 feet before, some say 7, some say 10. Here, it's really just trial and error depending on your floor surface. All right, so that's pretty good. You've been sliding all over inside your house. So if you have some grass, like let's say you have a backyard or a front yard, try sliding on the grass. Again, you want to be covered head to toe. I know it may be a little warm out, but it is worth having some sleeves on and your helmet for protection. I'd say if you're outside, don't put shoes on. Just have your socks. That'll be better just to get used to it. But again, ask your parents if it's okay. You don't just start doing stuff without their permission. Because they got to do your laundry, and if you're going to get some grass stains on there, they should probably know before you start doing it, okay? So again, if you got a backyard with some grass, a front yard with some grass, try doing the same drill. Use a glove as your base. Note that you probably won't slide as far on grass as you did on your flooring inside. So then you'll have to gauge how far away you're going to slide on there. I'd say don't go to parks though, don't go to schoolyards, because again, we're trying to limit our exposure to other people, and there might be other people at those parks, at those schoolyards. So if you're staying on your own property, your own backyard, your own front yard, it's safer for everyone, all right? So again, ask your parents if it's okay first before you try any of this. Again, that's for your safety. And again, just another tip for sliding inside, don't try to slide towards a wall or a hard piece of furniture, a heavy piece of furniture, because if you end up over sliding, you might hurt yourself. While if you're sliding towards a glove, if you over slide it, it's gonna move and you'll be okay. Yeah, so anyways, Hope everyone's staying healthy. Enjoy sliding. And hopefully this all passes over and we can get back on the field sooner rather than later. All right? Thanks for staying home, guys.